Hello, I'm Chrissy Seaton and welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you for subscribing. Please feel free to leave a comment or tick the like button. There are some, questionable organisations or groups that are teaching Noahides, and that is the topic that I'm addressing today. Now, question marks do hang over some of these groups and organisations for many and varied reasons. Now, that is not to say that all groups and organisations for Noahides or righteous Gentiles fall into that category, but unfortunately some do. And so that is what I'm going to talk about today. Now, in recent weeks, I would say about the last 6 or so weeks approximately, I have been amazed by the number of emails that I have received, and they're all asking a very similar question or posing a question to me. And so I've just felt that I needed to address this. So I'm just going to give you an example of the general type of question that's being asked, and they are all particularly about this. So the example is that they will email me, and I've got a fly somewhere there, and they will say, oh look, this group I'm in or this organisation, etc., that they said that Noahides can keep a lot of the Jewish commandments and even the Sabbath, keep it as a Jew keeps it, and then and holidays and similar customs, etc. And then another group or somebody else I was speaking to said that that's not true. No, we can't. So that's the general theme of the question. Why it's been in such an increase in the last few weeks, I really don't know. I can't answer that. But it has noticeably risen, the number of emails I do get regarding that. So I thought it was prudent at this point in time to make a video about it, and I'm going to cover in this video more or less what I responded to those people with. And I thought, well, if there were so many of them emailing me, there must be other people out there with the same concerns or confusion. So here we go. I can only imagine how confusing it is for people, because particularly those Gentiles that are just learning about the Noahide way of life and lifestyle and looking for some guidance and, authority to teach them. And so, who do they believe? They're in a quandary. Who's right and who's wrong? Now, apparently there was even one outrageous claim made that you can decide just to be a Jew inside yourself, and you are a Jew, and you can practice the laws as the Jews do. Apparently, this line of thought says that you do not need to come before a rabbinical court or have a rabbinical court oversee your formal conversion process, which is how things are done correctly. You can just get up today and decide, that's it, I'm going to be a Jew, and go ahead with the full commandments given to Jews, etc. Now, I don't know how that would work for some isolated individuals, but I can certainly understand how confusing and upsetting it would be to be told that and then be told by a reputable Noahide teacher that is incorrect, totally incorrect. So these poor people are wandering around sort of in the desert, so to speak, and they don't know who to believe. So, okay, they're being misled and misinformed, and some of them are questionable teachers and groups. There's no doubt about that. So what they're doing, they're leaving these innocent people confused and distressed, and when they're told it's not correct, they're disillusioned and probably think, well, why, I'm not going any further with this. I don't know who to believe. It's madness. And some sadly will believe only what they want to believe. And that's a fact of life in many things that people go through in life. It's easier to believe what you want to believe and then just ignore the rest. And certainly that's not the correct way to go about it. However, when these people email me, I want to outline in this video the advice that I give them, how I answer their concern. So this is what I say to them. The first thing I say to them, I may ask what groups they're in, and sometimes those people will volunteer that information in their initial email to me. But I say, right, first thing you must do, I would like you to go online and source the organisation called AskNoah.org. And incidentally, I will leave a link in the description box below for those of you who would like to investigate that group at the close of watching this video. So I say go to AskNoah.org. It is run by a rabbi whom I've met and I know, a very authentic teacher, Rabbi Dr. Michael Schulman. And now, Rabbi Dr. Michael Schulman, some of you would realise and already know, was the editor of the Divine Code. And the Divine Code is like the Noahide Shulchan Aruch, and that was written by Rabbi Moshe Weiner, who is the foremost authority on Noahide laws, and that's outlined and explained in the Divine Code. So a lot of you would know this book and have a copy of it. So, and Dr. Michael Schulman was the editor of that book. Along with that, there are numerous publications like prayer books. A lot of them you would have either one or the other, or sometimes both. So they're all been comes from AskNoah.org, including this marvellous book called The 7 Gates of Righteous Knowledge, and that was co-authored by Rabbi Moshe Weiner and Rabbi Dr. Michael Schulman. So I just wanted to mention that for what it's worth, so that you know that this organisation has credibility, a lot of credibility. So continuing on, I also explain to these people as well that email me that the thing that I investigate and observe, and I've joined other groups over the years. That's a perfectly normal thing to do. But after a while, you start to get warning flags, or straight away you do. Red flags start to raise. And what I do is I use Ask Noah as the yardstick. If that group or organisation is fairly closely in line with AskNoah.org, or very, very similar in its teachings, then there's probably nothing to be terribly cautious. Well, you always have to be careful with any group you're in, I have to say that. But if they're largely in line with what is being taught by AskNoah.org, then it's reasonable to say that you're in a reasonably safe environment to learn about the Noahide way of life and 7 Noahide laws. And the reason is that Ask Noah has stood the test of time. It's been around for a long, long time. It's still there. It's still offering a lot of free information. You can go and read so many things online. There's even documents you can download freely. And of course, there's you can buy the books that I've just mentioned there as well, among other books as well. Some have been translated into other languages. So there's a great resource of information available. Now, as I said, I compare those groups to AskNoah. Now, some of those groups did not pass my acid test, so to speak. I thought, oh, no. So, I've left them over the years because it's not, for one reason or another, there's a glaring error or there's something being said that's not really authentic. And so I just think, look, you can be in too many groups too, just quietly. So I've left those groups for one or varied reasons, but I always keep going back and always have been in AskNoah. AskNoah has a Facebook group, which is excellent, and you can ask questions on that and get an authentic answer. Now, why I keep referring back to arsenalorg and why that is my measuring stick is because some of these other groups are really quite questionable in their teachings, and sometimes their content falls far short of the mark. As I said, AskNoah has stood the test of time with its authentic teachings and information. And I guess the most important thing that I want to stress here is that if you are new to finding out about being a righteous Gentile and the Noahide laws and lifestyle, then you really need to be getting the correct information. In that delicate early stage when you're not sure of anything, it's so important that you get the correct and authentic information. So that's why it's important to go straight to arsenalorg. From then on, if there are other groups that you think might be good to join, maybe near you or for whatever reason, compare their content and teaching with what you've learned comes from arsenalorg. And that is the yardstick you will use. You'll say to yourself, well, hang on a minute, this is not exactly what I was led to believe, and this is not. So that, some warning flags will come up and you will be able to compare it. Now, the other thing, remember I said before that some people will believe what they want to believe because they want to do that. They want to keep the Sabbath like the Jews do. They're in love with it. It's a romance. And so they'll believe whoever's telling them what they want to believe. Well, let me tell you, when you go to asknoah.org, you may not hear what you necessarily want to hear, but let me assure you, what you hear will be authentic and be the truth. And that, my friends, is what you need to know. Now, how do you know? Already some of you will probably be in a group or organisation. And so how do you know if the group or the organisation that you're currently in or following is authoritative, authentic, correct and truthful? Well, as I said, compare it to asknoah.org. If they don't agree or follow the same or very similar teachings as AskNoah, then as I explained before, there's red flags going to go up. There might be some slight differences. I'm not saying that they've all got to be verbatim, every word the same, but you will understand. If you're a discerning person, then you will say, well, hang on, this is a long way from what asknoah.org says. long way off there. Or it may just be a slight nuance of a explanation or something. I'm suggesting that you be critical and evaluate that in a truthful and honest way yourself. And if you are still concerned or have any doubts, then the easiest thing to do is leave the group and just listen to what is said by Rabbi Dr. Michael Schulman. And he, as I said, he also had, apart from his website, which is excellent, he has this Facebook group where you can pose questions there, and he will respond to it when he's able to. So in any other situation, just proceed with extreme caution. Keep an open mind, but the moment some alarm bells start tinkling, I think it's time to withdraw or draw back from that organisation. I say always that AskNoah.org is the yardstick. It's a prime example of authentic, correct information, whether you're just learning about the Noahide laws or whether you're well and truly on and familiar with the Noahide way of life. So that is why Ask Noah is my preferred and recommended go-to organisation and group for all things pertaining to righteous Gentiles, be they new to learning about it or whether they've been a God-fearer all their life like me. So there is something there to address people at all levels and stages of their learning and understanding. And as I said, there is so much information there. You can just browse and read and know with confidence that what you are accessing is authentic, it is truth, and it is not misleading you into some false understanding that you can go out there and keep whatever Jewish laws you would like to, the way the Jews do, that you can, you don't need to have a rabbi teach you, or you don't need, well, you do need to have access to a rabbi who is familiar with authentic teachings of the Noahide laws and lifestyle. And I know there are some groups out there that say it's not necessary. Well, that's their responsibility to say that. But there will always come a time when your question is in your mind, or you need to put a question to someone, a rabbi who is proficient in the Noahide laws and their application. You can't just free wing it all by yourself all the time. We're not asking or expecting the rabbis to spoon feed us, because we have to be responsible. But that responsibility also means that we have to be very careful what groups and organisations we associate with and what teachings and they are giving out, and whether they are authentic. And the only way to find that out is to be on the Ask Noah Facebook group, or go to their website and check it out for yourself. If it doesn't match up closely with that, then you need to be thinking, is this group what I think it is? Thank you for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Please be careful who you learn from, and particularly what they're teaching you. You have to compare it to something that is authentic, and that is the Ask Noah organisation, the director being Rabbi Dr. Michael Schulman. Thank you for watching. Please take care, and God bless.